Make every night a wonderful journey, no matter where you are. Good night, sweet dreams. The first story, an offer too good to refuse. It all started with that stupid deer, sitting around the campfire, telling scary stories. All this seemed like good fun at the time, had we only known. Okay, let me start from the beginning. We were sitting around the fire telling stories, like you should on a warm summer night. When it happened, Joe noticed. I kept glancing at the woods and said with a smirk, "Hey Mac, you scared something is gonna get you?" "No," I said, "just a little paranoid is all." "Well, if you aren't scared, I guess you wouldn't mind doing a little dare," he said confidently. "What kind of dare are we talking about?" I asked warily. "All you have to do is walk up to the woods, turn around so your back is facing it, and say, 'If there's anything out there, come get me,'" he said. "Fine," I said in defeat. When he got to the edge of the woods, a sense of dread gripped my heart. I was paralyzed with fear. Over his shoulder I saw a pair of red eyes looming in the dark forest. I tried to warn him, but all that came out is a croak. Why did I have to be such a coward? Just as the final words escaped his lips, the thing grabbed him. It took him back into the woods with Joe struggling and grunting with effort, until the sounds faded into the distance. Everyone just stood there staring in shock, as our brains registered what just happened. We grabbed flashlights and headed out to look for him, but after the futile effort we decided it would be best to look for him in the morning. As soon as the sun came up over the horizon, we headed out to look. We reached the place where it took him only to see that there were no drag marks, footprints, and no sign of a struggle at all. We scoured the area for any sign of him, being there only to come up empty-handed. To this very day, those eyes haunt my dreams. Sometimes I see them prowling the edge of the woods at night, waiting for the next victim. Whatever you do, please never tempt the creatures of the night. They just might take up your offer. The second story, Sleep Tight. Many cultures have their own version of the boogeyman, a monster that lurks in the darkness, waiting to take children away to their shadowy domain. The weird thing is that sometimes kids see it before they even hear the stories about them. They feel the presence of something in their room, sometimes just outside their door or at the far end of a dark hallway. It is quite probable that this monster actually evolved as a survival technique, dating back to times when humans were tribal dwelling folk. If a small child wandered away from the camp, especially at night, chances are it would never been seen again. This fear may have developed simply to make sure we stayed in the safety of our own villages. But suppose, for a moment, that there is some validity to the idea of this supernatural being. Isn't it entirely possible it is not at all evil or malicious? Many people believe in guardian angels. How do we know these aren't simply our guardians keeping an eye on us? The idea that an angel would use fear to keep us safe may sound strange, but the most efficient rulers tend to employ Machiavellian philosophy. It is better to rule with fear than love, but it is better to rule with love than hate. And while we're on the subject of the monster being real, have you ever heard of thought form? Thought form is the manifestation of mental energy. If enough people are pouring energy into the idea of a boogeyman, after a while it will show up. So, when you lie awake at night, unable to sleep, what do you think about? Do you think about all the stressful things you have to do the next day? Perhaps it's anticipation for some event that is approaching. Or is it because of the sensation that you are being watched in the dark? The feeling you get from unseen eyes, as they silently observe you tossing and turning in bed. The thought of knowing that even though you are safe in your own room, there is a creature lying in wait, just beyond the foot of your bed. Sleep tight. The third story. Plateau. I fall onto my couch. Exhausted running tired me out faster than it used to. I shouldn't have taken such a long break from it over the summer. I grab the remote to the TV and turn it on. I flip through the guide. The only thing on is an old rerun of that 70s show. For some reason, this is one of my favorite shows. It is probably the fact that it mocks what the government is trying to do to us. Keep us away from drugs, from doing bad things, etc. It's the rebellion that I love about it. It's about 9 when I head on up to bed. I turn off the lights, trudging my way upstairs, my legs kill from cross-country practice. At least it's Friday. I'll be able to rest my legs. I reach my room and push the door open. As not until I'm undressed do I hear a creak. It's not an unusual noise. I hear it just about every night. It could just be a rat in attic. That's when I realize that I'm alone. Completely alone. My dad is working out lazy ass at the college still. I don't know why the hell he isn't home, or hasn't called. I climb into bed and turn off the lamp on my bedstand. Darkness surrounds me, like it does every night usually. I can hear the TV from my dad's room, but he's not home, so it's completely silent. I pull my covers over my head. This silence, like the Klitschko's, is much louder than any noise. It's practically making me deaf. I wish I had a fan going in my room. I'm tense, every muscle in my body is contracting. I could hear a needle drop all the way in the basement. My eyes close, my legs aching, my muscles tense, and I find sleep. A red sky stretches beyond the mountainous landscape, casting a blood-red color on the plateau on which I stand. I see myself walk toward the mountains. They approach quicker than I imagined. Just as I'm about to begin climbing the mountain, they all disappear, leaving me stranded on this never-ending plateau. I see myself run, trying to find an escape to it all. I feel the fear of my running corpse, leaving me dead in its tracks. This fear is not of being utterly alone. This fear is of being watched. God ceases to exist on this blood-red plateau. Am I really alone? Not here is something watching me run along, knowing there is no escape. Death has taken over. The sun turns black, utterly encasing me in darkness. Darkness, then everything is still. I wake up, sweat streaming down my forehead. What the hell was that? A light is on in the hallway. I sigh in relief, thank God Dad's home. I get out of my bed and head over for the door, opening it. I shield my eyes. I walk downstairs and see my dad sitting at the table. He looks horrified. Hey, Dad, you alright? I ask, my voice stuffy from sleep. He doesn't answer. I don't say anything. Either the look on his face was enough to say that he didn't want to talk about it tonight. Whatever it is, it's not good. Just as I reach the staircase, a voice penetrates my ears. Don't go to sleep. I come back into the kitchen and say, why not? He looks at me intently. Just don't. Whatever. I'm back upstairs in the hallway when I notice that the walls have etchings in them. Demonic tongues and symbols are carved into the walls. God? No reply, oh God. My door has a hexagon carved on it. I shield my eyes and rush downstairs. I can't stand to look at any of this Satanism shit. But where'd it all come from? I was up there just 5 freaking minutes ago, and the walls were clear, and I'm pretty sure my door didn't have the Star of David on it before that. The walls downstairs are now etched in the demonic languages, and on the ceiling, the number 666 is written repeatedly. DAD. His body hangs from the ceiling, the nail in the middle of a Star of David. His body is dead. His face stares down at me. I'm back on the plateau, completely alone, godless. Where is he now? The lights turn off. They whisper, I am Satan. I am your father.